Hi guys, it's Becca. It's been so long since I've been on this channel, and I do apologize for that. Life gets in the way for me too, just like it does for so many others. Um, so right now, I'm not doing so great. I think I'm like fighting a flare and a couple of little other things. I'm not on here to talk about lupus flares. Sorry, don't mind my disgusting nails. I'm actually on here to discuss mental illness and lupus. When people hear mental illness, they think right away the person is like crazy or whatever. It's very difficult to have an illness for which there's no cure that you battle on a daily basis, which means this is a chronic illness, and be happy and chipper all the time. You go through bouts of depression, you go through bouts of anger and rage, you go through those moments of, like, why me? It's not that you want to wish the disease on somebody else, but you'd like to wish it at least off of yourself. I personally am diagnosed with bipolar depression. That means that there are times where I am so very depressed that to get up out of bed to go to the restroom pretty much takes up all of the energy that I have. I have no desire to do anything. It's not that I sit around crying. It's just there's nothing that brings me any joy. I can fake it, but that's all I'm doing is faking it. And I do fake it sometimes or most of the time because I do have a now 15-year-old son. And, I don't want him always looking back, thinking about his mother being debilitated in bed because she's too sad to move. Some people don't get that. They think that people with depression are just being lazy or overly dramatic, or they can just shake it off or write it off. It doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. And even with medication, it doesn't work. There's no instant fix, I see a psychiatrist and a psychologist. Very frequently, and even that, like talk therapy doesn't really do much for me personally, but I would recommend that anybody that's suffering from depression does reach out and find someone to talk to. Then there's the other part of the bipolar illness, which is when I become manic. That's when I think that I can take on the world, and I feel that there are no boundaries, there's no limits, there's nothing that I can't do, and I try to do every and anything all in the span of 5 minutes. Probably if I didn't have lupus, that part wouldn't be as dangerous as it is, but it puts so much strain on my body that it makes it dangerous. You don't think clearly when you're in a manic state. You do things that you normally wouldn't do. You do things that you really tend to regret afterwards. I could give so many different examples of things that I've done when I've been in manic states, but I'll keep those private. All I'll say is that there's a part of you inside that knows you're not right. and knows that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. Like, you do have like that tiny little voice, but just like with the depression, you can't just shake it off. You can't just seem to wheel in the manic state and everything that comes along with it. So a lot of people have this stigma when it comes to mental illness, and that's really horrible, because chances are, out of every 5 people you know, at least one of them is suffering with one form of mental illness or another. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's your boss. It's your coworker. It's not our fault. It doesn't make us bad people. It doesn't necessarily make us dangerous people. And there's no reason why we should be ashamed of it anymore. For a long time, when I was originally diagnosed, I refused to talk about it to anybody because of the stigma. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. But I'm not ashamed and I'm not embarrassed anymore. And I'll never allow anyone to make me feel that way ever again. And so today what I'm doing is I'm asking each and every single person that watches this video to share it and be more open-minded when you hear that someone you know, someone you love, someone you care for may be suffering deep down and they need help. And just, sometimes just hearing hello, have a good day as you walk past a stranger, it can go a long way when you're suffering from depression. It makes you feel like you're not invisible. It makes you feel like you really do matter. Because again, you're not in your right state of mind. So when you're going through the depression, you're thinking, you could be telling yourself, everyone loves me, I have this terrific life, and you can go down a whole list. I have this, I have that, I have this, I do it, I've done it. But it doesn't change the actual feelings. And then somebody will say something to me like, oh, hey, your hair looked nice, or hey, I saw a post and it was kind of cool, and all of a sudden I feel, oh wow, thanks, thanks. So reach out to somebody that you wouldn't normally reach out to. Look around, look at that person that may be there in front of you that seems a little off today, and just tell them it's going to be okay, and try to be there for them in whichever way they may need, and let them know that I'm here for you, whatever you need, even if it's just to sit together in silence. Let's sit together in silence. So once again, reach out, share the video, and let's do away with the stigma of people having to be ashamed of having a mental illness. Thank you. Talk to you soon.